all you haters out there, The Batman is the Batman movie. The best. The most darkest of nights. If you don't believe me, that's okay. You do whatever you want. I don't really care. This is supposed to look better, but it's not dark enough outside, so I hope it looks good on camera. I'm gonna have to refilm some stuff. We start with the wonderful, amazing piece called Ave Marina. Shut up! Doing a review. So it starts off with this piece of music, and I think it's Latin. So it's this piece, Hail Mary, and we see the Riddler for the first time. He's dressed pretty much all black. I think it's a little green. It's very dark green. You can't see him. It's this really cool shot. Everything is black. Only light is from the skylight. Man drinking in the dark alone. Eyes. Shining silver eyes in the corner directly behind him. Murder. He kills him. That's it. He just kills him. So we get the Batman theme soon after this. It's pretty good. The Batman gives his little rant speech about how Gotham sucks, basically. And he says the word vengeance to describe himself. He calls himself Vengeance. Now, people don't like him all that much because they aren't sure what he's about or what he's really doing. Pretty much everyone is scared of him except for Gordon. And it's not a good thing when you're trying to help people. You know? Vengeance might not be the best outcome. After I finished the movie, I tried to figure out in my memory if there was some way that you could have figured out that there was going to be this big flood at the end. But I don't think that there is a way to figure it out. Which does lower it a little bit in my head. Because all of the best riddle movies or crime detective movies are ones where the pieces, if you can put them together, so maybe there are still pieces that we have to put together, that we could put together, because the movie doesn't spell them out for you, which is good. I don't think they should. And that song plays at the beginning, and Riddler sings it at the end. That's why I was thinking maybe it would have something to do with it, but it really doesn't. But it does show the Riddler's mindset. Him and the Batman are equals and should be praised for saving the city. Let's talk about the Riddler. He has this very, very, very crazy mindset that you don't even fully understand until the end of the film, where he believes himself to be God. He thinks he is absolutely helping, getting rid of the scum of the city, and it's unfathomable how wrong he is. I wish there was a way to describe it, but it's very difficult to, because we don't get a lot of time with the Riddler, which is one thing thinking back on it, I don't really like. We don't get a lot with the Riddler. It's really more about the Penguin and sort of the whole what's going on with Gotham, and Riddler is just sort of shedding light on that. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just I kind of wish they didn't market it as a Riddler movie because it's not really. I mean, yeah. Another thing, I'm really, really, really hoping that they do Robin next. Robin needs to be the next thing that happens because we've seen Batman a million times. We've seen Robin way less. Not saying that no one cares about Robin. Just a lot of people don't know enough about Robin. They don't even think of him as two different characters, or three or four or five, really. So we need a Robin. And I'm thinking it needs to be that boy from the movie, or it needs to be the girl Robin that I don't know the name of from The Dark Knight Returns. I think is the comic. And I say that because, or it needs to be Damien. And I say that because we've never seen Damien in a movie, a live action movie. So that could be very interesting. Especially because this is still like year 2 Batman. So they could go a little bit more into his backstory that they don't ever really talk about the League of Shadows. They did in The Dark Knight, but they don't fully commit to it. It's sort of just he goes, fights Liam Neeson, and then goes home. There's not really ever. They don't show up again. There's no reason for them to be in this universe, really. So I think having that would be pretty cool. And specifically focus on Talia and Damien if they're going to do that. And maybe show how they've corrupted the city themselves on purpose to make Gotham horrible. Because they do that in the comics. For sure. And they do it in the games. For sure. You either need to have him, or you need to have the girl Robin, or you need to have the kid from the movie that I don't know the name of. He was the kid of that mayor guy. They need to. I think the best one to go with would be the kid from the movie. Only because Batman already has a sort of connection with him. And he would be a very young Robin, which is what I kind of want anyway. Because the last Robin we got was like a fully grown adult, and they were treating him like he was not, and it was kind of weird. So I think they need to have an actual genuine kid Robin, and of course have an actual genuine connection, and have it be Batman wants him to learn to not end up like he did in the last film, where he's vengeful and wants to kill everyone, and sort of show him the hope that he gained at the end of the first film, instead of becoming the Batman. So let's talk about Catwoman. I was thinking she was kind of this weird thing that was happening, and I wasn't sure what it was about it, but it felt weird. It didn't feel like Catwoman to me. But then there was the scene on the rooftop. She shines the bat signal to get Batman to show up, but so does Jim Gordon. They both show up, and she has a man up there that has been in the movie a couple times up until this point. Batman beat him up at the Iceberg Lounge. Then he's a cop. Then Catwoman has found him and brought him here, and she's gonna kill him. And Batman's like, "No, you can't do that. It doesn't matter. We gotta not do that, because then that defeats. I'm gonna get arrested, basically. You'll have just as bad of a fate as he is gonna have if you kill him. And so just letting him have the fate." So she tries to argue with him, tries to shoot him, and Batman stops from all that. And so she pushes him off, and Batman saves her, or saves the guy, and Catwoman leaves. It's exactly what I want out of a Catwoman. It's not like Michelle Pfeiffer, where she's kind of on both sides, but she's definitely leaning more towards Batman's side, just in general. It's like that's just what's happening. And this, it's really she does want to be with Batman, not like necessarily like that, but you know, she wants to believe what he's saying, but she just can't. She has to do certain things, and Batman, if she's with Batman, she can't do those things. So she does leave, and she leaves for a while, and that was the moment that cemented her as Catwoman for me. Michelle Pfeiffer is not Catwoman. She never really was. She has the costume, which I'll get to in a second, but that's about all Michelle Pfeiffer has. Now, for Catwoman's costume, someone's going to say, oh, but didn't you want a realistic Batman? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But the one thing I don't like about her costume, the only thing, her mask sucks. It should have been rubber. It should have been like the exact same material almost as Batman's mask in the movie. The Batman. He is he's something. I wasn't sure about the voice at first because it kind of just sounded like The Dark Knight to me, Christian Bale, but I think it grew on me a little bit. It kind of just sounds like Kevin Conroy a little bit. And it's not too much like Kevin Conroy. Like it's not super deep, but it has the same tone as that one. Like where he sounds like a person talking instead of just like, I am Batman. You know, he sounds like the Batman and he's talking and he's this lower voice and it just sounds a lot better than The Dark Knight. So I think that is just automatically better for me. And I like his relationship with Jim Gordon, who I'm not really going to talk about in this video because from what I've heard, he's getting his own show. So I'll probably talk about him there. And again, I'm probably not going to talk about the Penguin a lot. I'll give Penguin a section though. Or I'll have a miscellaneous section for him and Penguin and some other minor characters. Oh no, I guess it's just them two. So with the Penguin, he's, how do you say this? He's not the Penguin. He doesn't act like the Penguin. He doesn't look like the Penguin. And I don't, when I am talking about him right now, I am not picturing that guy. I am picturing the Danny DeVito Penguin. When I say that name, that's what I'm thinking of. And I have to keep not thinking of him because that is not the Penguin in this movie. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but I feel like there should have been a little bit more of the Penguin in there. I think he acts completely different from every other Penguin, which can be a good thing, especially in this movie where all the crime bosses kind of act a little bit more like an actual crime boss instead of just like, I'm gonna get you, Batman. You know? So I'm absolutely fine with him being a little different. But why doesn't he look like the Penguin? Like the guy they got to play him looks totally different. I understand that. So like that's cool, whatever. Give him weird hands or something. Like he's just got like a scar right here. That's nothing. That isn't anything. Give him like a weird nose. It doesn't have to be like way over here. Just, you know, give him a weird nose, which I think maybe he has. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. He kind of just looks like a normal guy. Give him like weird hands. They don't have to be like flipper hands, but have his hands messed up in some way or something. I don't know. They don't really do anything with the he's deformed thing, which is kind of a big part of his character, I feel like, that they kind of completely missed. I'm not saying it's a bad character. It's just not necessarily the Penguin. And that's like the one thing that kind of irks me about it is it's not the Penguin. So, yeah. So for James Gordon, that his name? What am I doing? It is James, right? It's James Gordon. Yeah, we're going with that. It's James Gordon. He is probably the best Gordon we've got. I do like the one from Dark Knight, just like a tad bit better, but I think that's just because that's the one I grew up with. This guy, though, is a little bit different than normal Jim Gordon from what I'm normally used to. In that he has this desire to 100% work with Batman, but knows that he can't because that'll get him killed by the Riddler. But it probably wouldn't have, actually, because the Riddler sees him and Batman as the same. Anyway, but Gordon for sure wants to help Batman as much as he can. He even gets socked in the face to help Batman. So, but there's not a whole lot to say about him because he's not in this movie a lot, other than the things I've already said. Maybe there is more, but it's been like almost a week since I've seen that movie, so it's... Anyway, Alfred is also in the movie. He's got like 4 scenes. Oh my god. And Alfred, again, there's like this weird thing where he is pretty much Alfred. But I don't like him because he ruins one of the biggest things in the movie. They reveal that Bruce Wayne's dad was not a good person. And Bruce Wayne has to deal with this. And they kind of completely ruin that because Alfred's like, well, actually, he was good. He was in good intentions. If I shoot someone to save a puppy, I still shot the person. Like, yeah, it was to save a puppy. Like, I still killed a man. That's not good, Alfred. Stop ruining the plot in the actions of the characters. I liked the twist that these people are horrible, and then it was just like, they're actually not. I don't know. It was just like immediate. It was immediate as well. It was like immediately after. It wasn't like an hour later. It was like the next scene was that. It literally it was. It was that's like the worst part of the movie, I think, in my humble opinion. Sequels. I've already talked about Robin, but who do I think the next villain should be? Well, I don't think it should be the Joker.
Alright, so for context, I filmed this before they released that Joker scene of him in Arkham, and we're seeing that I'm hoping they do something with Joker, but listen to this idiot talk for a little while, I guess.
Anyone that thinks that is crazy. They've done the Joker. They need to not do him again for a long time. And I'm talking like a long time. I'm thinking either, here's my pitches, basically. They need to do a movie where there's a lot of characters, like a lot of named actual characters. Kind of like in this one where you have, Batman and Bruce Wayne and Alfred and, you have the Riddler and you have Gordon and you have a police chief and you have, you have to have even more than that. You have to have like a bunch. And you have the villain be Clayface. And no one knows that it's Clayface. None of the marketing says it's Clayface. Nothing. You do not know that it's Clayface going in. There's a lot of deceit, a lot of lies. and a lot of people saying things happened that didn't, or that didn't happen, or that did happen, and whatever. There's a lot of lies. And then you find out that it's Clayface. And then that happens. Clayface stuff. I think that's a good direction to go in. Get even more mysterious in what's going on. And then you got Mr. Freeze, which I think is the only other option personally that they can go with. And that's just a standard Mr. Freeze thing. But make it serious this time. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what I would want. Of course, you gotta have Robin in there, like I said. I'm thinking maybe no Catwoman. You have a Robin now. Don't use Catwoman. Have her come back in the third one. And maybe by the third one, you have a Robin that is now a Nightwing. And you have another different Robin, maybe? Maybe not, though. Not sure. If they do bring Joker back, Harley Quinn. Can't say this enough. Next time they do Joker, you need a Harley Quinn. And don't do like a lovey-dovey Joker Harley Quinn. It's got to be like, Joker hates this woman, and she does not understand that. Because that is exactly what Harley Quinn is. And they kind of ruined her. The one that they have right now. It's kind of like never. It's either she loves him and he also loves her, or she just hates him. So they need to fix that. But also Jared Leto is your Joker, so not sure if you're gonna want to bring him in. Look forward to my Smash Bros. Video next week. Hope to God that I have it done, because I'm not even done doing the moveset. And there's 4 characters I gotta do.